Sakamoto Days is honestly a pretty short chapter, sadly. Very short chapter, sadly. But I think it establishes that this prison arc is not going to be going as fast as everyone expects it to, which I'm glad to see, because that was going to be one of the biggest things for me as to if this arc was going to be enjoyable or not. Because, you know, I'm no one new to say that the most recent exhibition arc, as well as a couple other arcs before, has felt a little rushed. So I'm excited to know we're not going to jump the gun. Shin's not going to be going right to floor 2 to floor 3 right off the bat. Let's take a little bit of time for this arc to breathe, for this arc to cook, because I don't know about you, but Boiled coming back last chapter was one of the biggest things for me to ensure that I will enjoy whatever is going to be on screen. And I know there's been this narrative of Suzuki just coming after Shin for every possible way to make him look bad, but I don't know about you. I thought Shin looked pretty badass last chapter by basically not letting those goons make fun of him. He literally just dog walked them and turned the guard's head. Boiled got a really good lick on him and picked up and threw Shin back, but we have to remember the main point of this arc is to establish that Shin is not, you know, a beast with physical stats, and he's going to be fighting hand to hand and busting down order members with his fists. Shin needs to focus on his mental training so he can grow and learn and, to the best of his ability, use what works for him. Physical stature does not work for him. And I think we see that completely with how the way Boiled treats him. Now, unfortunately, we don't get to see Boiled or Shin go all out in like a big fight, because we immediately get introduced to a new character who is supposedly the warden of floor 2 of this big JAA prison. I won't lie to you, at first this warden seemed a little weird to me, but I think he's gonna be a fun mini villain for at least floor 1, and I think he might even follow us through the other floors too, because this guy seems like an absolute psychopath. His name is Joe Shackles, which, I mean, I don't know why, but it fits with his personality. Like, say what you will about Yuto Suzuki rushing things, bro is literally perfect at naming characters. He's always great. We've got heavy hitters like Club Jam and Carolina Reaper, but we also have bangers like Joe Shackles. Joe Shackles is treating Boiled, for lack of a better word, like a little child. He's literally like, oh, you know, nice place, right, Boiled? And Boiled literally submits to him. Boiled goes, oh, you know, you're right. You do keep this place running great. I love you, boss. You're so great. Let me kiss your feet. Moo, 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 moo. The worst part is that's not even enough for Joe Shackles. Like, he answers him right off track, doesn't miss a beat. And Joe Shackles is like, that's still too slow. I'm gonna shoot your ass right in the leg. Ow, one of the worst things that could ever happen to you. You could argue, who's more psychopathic here? Criminal assassins that killed so many people or went off the record so many times that they had to be locked in a prison, or the person that has to be just crazy enough to handle every single one of them? Shin is taking the prison idea of find the worst and biggest person and fight them and start a problem with them to heart, because as soon as he gives an ultimatum to Boiled and says, hey, you don't want me to send you down below, right? Shin's like, oh, that's the whole point we're doing this. Let's go. And he tries to finagle his way by kicking this guy in the face, thinking that he's just a pushover, right? Shin fully doubts this guy, fully underestimates him. And to be honest with you, the way that Shin was treating this entire arc, it's kind of good that he got humbled here. We have to be honest with ourselves and admit that it's really good Shin got humbled here, because he was coming kind of crazy these last couple chapters. Joe Shackles is not the man to fuck with. I'm sure you have seen this page, if you haven't already, get memed to oblivion by any Sakamoto Days creator that we've had, but Shin immediately gets a collar thrown on his neck and fucking eats the goddamn ground, because Joe Shackles says, oh, you want to kick me in the fucking face? I'm gonna make your life hell, like a real prison warden would. Shin keeps trying to fight back, and he just can't. Shin throws a kick, he handcuffs his fucking leg, And I will say, again, I said it last time when we talked about Torres's crazy fucking weapon usage. It's just the way that Yuto Suzuki finds the most mundane things for people to use as weapons will never cease to amaze me or blow my mind. Will never cease to amaze me or blow my mind. Because we had Torres with the sand blasters. Insane. We had the one guy, I don't remember his order, the new order member, the guitar playing guy who was able to use amps and sound. And now we've got this guy, Joe Shackles, who literally is using handcuffs as a prison warden, as a weapon, and tossing people through walls, which, by the way, for someone who loves this prison and does his best to make it a home, and it's funny how he's like, you know, I even have movie nights every week or something like that. Like, it's cute. For someone that loves this prison, bro, no one gives a fuck about these walls. This is at least the third or fourth wall that has been broken in this one prison floor alone. Joe Shackles hit Shin with one of the most embarrassing things you could ever say to someone, which is, you are clearly mistaken. I said that if you mess with me, you get sent down below. But if that's all you've got, it hardly qualifies as messing with me. Ha! Nothing out of the ordinary today. Just a peaceful day. And Shin looks so sad. Look at that face. But I will say, I think Shin's been doing pretty well besides this. I think Shin's been having a really good run besides this. And he just needed to be humbled. He flew too close to the sun. He thought he was hot shit. He's like, I roll with Sakamoto. And even Boyle hits him last chapter. He goes, you know, I mostly hear about Sakamoto, not you. But yeah, pretty short chapter. Unfortunately, there was only 13 pages this chapter, but it had all the pages we needed to, again, remind us that this prison arc is going to take its time. Shin's not just going to speed blitz through this and just take care of all these people like their fodder. Shin needed to get a taste of that humble pie, and we've got a psychopath like Joe Shackles to do it. And I'm happy to see a character use a very weird ass weapon, especially a prison guard. I think it fits very well, and I'm excited to see whatever the hell the rest of this prison arc has in store for us. That's for sure.